Sunday show. Make sure you smash the like button. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Payton and Boston have declined their options. NBA free agency starts tomorrow, and the rookies were introduced yesterday to the media. Make sure you, once again, you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's do it. Oh, wow. I almost pressed end stream there. Let's try this one again.
First took away. That's for this. Get your money's worth now.
Presented by the Scott Vicknair Injury Law Firm. You've been hurt in any kind of accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, or hurt offshore. Scott Vicknair handles it all. Give him a call at 504-500-1111 for a free consultation. They always fight for the win. Is always powered by 40 Energy. Shout out Blue Moon, John Deere Sunshine, and of course Theo's. There we go. We got Lito's here as well. I think Ross is joining. As always, Jarrett, Chaz, and David Grubb. So, Chaz, we'll start with you first.
No, don't start with me and my dog going crazy. My bad.
Grubb, we'll start with you first. They declined the options on Elfrid Payton and Brandon Boston today. We were talking about before we got on the show. So, before, I believe, whatever, the rookies got to sign everything, it's going to be around $12 million under the tax. So, I guess, first off, we're not really surprised by these moves, but what does this indicate? What are the next steps here moving forward here with the declined options of Elfrid Payton and Brandon Boston?
I mean, it's pretty clear that they got to free up space to sign up big. You know, I mean, that's the whole offseason now is finding one veteran big at least to come in and be part of your center rotation. And when you look at this, there was just no place for either one of those guys. When you look at Elfrid Payton, I mean, you've got between Fears, Poole, and Jose Alvarado, you've already got three people who could play your lead guard, and that's before DeJounte Murray is back in the mix for however long he is. So you got four players at that position. And then for Brandon Boston, again, it's just a numbers game. I mean, he got hurt, and it's unfortunate because he was playing pretty good basketball when he did get hurt. But when you look at this team now, there's just no place for him in the top 9 of this rotation. So you have to take him out as well. And I think it's just everything is now centered on trying to find a center.
So yeah, Chaz, back to the original question, right? So Boston, Payton declined. Do you think they go after a big here, or where do you see, I guess, the next moves moving forward here for this team? I'm going to try to figure out how to get to the 6 layout. Lala, you might have to help me out here, but go ahead, Chaz.
I think they absolutely have to go after a big. I think, the Pelicans usually have a routine. They go big game hunting, i.e., it would be Lopez, Capella, Horford. They get rejected, and then they just become more realistic. For me, I think me and Ross especially have been interested in is Darren Sharpe from the Nets. He was waived today, and I think he's going to be an incredible might be a strong word, but I do think he has some upside. I'm surprised that they didn't offer him something to keep him in Brooklyn. But I think he's a guy you can get with a piece of that mid-level exception. I think he was declined at about $5 million. That's relevant on the Jordan Hawkins front as well. But he was declined at about $5 million. Probably get him for something around that number, maybe $6 million. Solid spot starter, big. Still got some upside. About 23 years old. I think he's an interesting prospect. But I'm a little disappointed that they waived Brandon Boston, considering you haven't finished this roster just yet. And I don't know how much money, I don't know how much better of a player you're going to get for someone making a little over $2 million. Hopefully it's a sign of things to come with clutch clients on this team, but we'll see.
Jared, I was reading some tweets from you today. It sucks about Elfrid Payton, right? Because he was such a good player for this team, just a professional. And I thought that, with DeJounte injured, I thought one guy, and look, we kind of knew this was going to happen, but if there was a point guard that Fears could learn from, I felt like Elfrid Payton could have been that voice for Jeremiah Fears, but we kind of understood that this was kind of going to happen.
Yeah, I truly do believe Elfrid could have helped him in some form of fashion. Just him being out the league for 2 years and being able to come back in the next week when he starts playing and, has a game where he records 21 assists. Like, that just doesn't happen. You don't just have people being able to do that in the NBA. But that's what I thought about Elfrid. It does suck, but it might be one of those things where they may have had to do this and say, okay, Elfrid, stay on the side. We'll kind of figure something out later. But as we see it now, I think this is just Joe and staff kind of just getting rid of some weight that they don't need right now. They need to, focus on what's important and in front of them and make sure that, their rookies play, right? And I think there might be another move, to ensure that as well.
So some interesting Lito and Ross, welcome to the show. Lito, great hat. Do you know who played in that World Series?
I don't even know what hat I have on.
What hat is it? I can't
it's
see
a 2007 World Series. The only reason why I know that it's Red Sox Rockies. That's a nice hat.
Is it?
It was Red Sox Rockies.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you wanted to. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No,
There's a baseball team called the Rockies.
Yeah, Colorado.
No,
Rockies.
not really. Just barely.
I've never heard of.
There's a AAA team. There's a AAA team.
Baldo Jimenez is on that team, Justin?
No, the Dante Bichette, man.
Dante Bichette.
Shout out,
Would you say? Troy Tulowitzki played there. Todd Helton.
Too low.
Andres Galarraga. I mean,
Chaz, they actually have one of the worst records, I think, in like the history of baseball right now. It was something pretty crazy. They have also a bad start. Anyways,
can't win in that stadium.
no, that stadium's pretty tough to win in. Lito, some interesting names. So let's talk about free agency targets because there were some interesting names. Chaz had mentioned Sharpe from Brooklyn, Mo Wagner from Orlando. I know we've talked about Thomas Bryant, who is a center, because I think this will probably be the next move, a realistic center that the Pelicans can target here. Shout out Theo's in free agency.
There's a couple of them. I mean, you just named two guys that was at the top of my list. I talked about Wagner a lot last year as him being the highest. He had the highest shooting percentage on that Orlando team, like literally their best shooter. Like not even a joke. Literally their best shooter on the team, and he tore his ACL. He went out. I'm a fan of his. I like Deron Sharpe a lot. I mean, he gave them towards the end of the year. He gave them a lot of production. I like Luke Cornett. I think there are players that especially if you're going center by committee, I think there's a couple guys out there who will be able to help your team. I do want to add this point though. I'm sorry Elfrid Payton got cut, absolutely, but it's so crazy that like a man who hasn't been in the NBA for 4 years had to come in and save or provide competency to your guard room. Like it's insane to me that and then people are like the other guy, we can't lose the other guy who he came and played in front of. And I'm like, dog, he wasn't in the NBA. He wasn't in the NBA. He made immediate impact.
He had 21 assists in one game. It's pretty. Yeah. Shout out Elfrid Payton, bro, and shout out to appreciate you, Brandon Franklin, 42.
Yep.
Appreciate that. Go ahead, Greg. What you got?
Thank you, brother. And I'm sorry. And 504 boy. Thank you, Brandon Franklin.
This Elfrid Payton can do one
and
thing.
504 boy.
He can do one thing.
Who's that?
Elfrid does one thing well. He can pass. He can't shoot. He can't defend. Yeah, he can't shoot. He can't defend. Like all he can do is pass. And when he's on the court, usually, just because he puts up the assist numbers, he's usually been a net negative. Like that's why he's not in the NBA, because usually he's a net negative. And it's just like I get it, he's local and whatnot, but the assist numbers can't. It's just not enough to warrant keeping him around.
Sure.
You think that's a byproduct of him being on the floor with the people that are on the floor with him, right? Or you just think that's because of him being on the floor, not providing, I guess, points? Yeah, he gets to assist, maybe rebounding.
I mean, he's not even a threat to score. He's not even a threat to score. And then just defensively, he's a sieve. I mean, you could just, like, he's been on some of the worst defenses, and it's usually at point of the attack defense. He does not do a good job at point of the attack defense. I
would disagree.
Hey, Justin, I'm sorry, Bob.
No, you're good.
I'd also like to add, I forgot to add Aldama. I like Aldama a lot too.
Okay. Ross, who are some of your targets for center via free agency? Because I think Chaz is an interesting trade proposal we're going to get to here in a second.
It's a short list. And I mean, I hate to be repetitive, but it really starts and ends with Deron Sharpe for me. is a player that's gotten better every year. He's still young. There's, in theory, still some upside. He really improved from the free throw line last year. He got better defensively. Value overall has gotten better year over year. Whenever he plays, he rebounds. And he fits a style that I think the Pelicans are going to try and play. For me, that's a no-brainer. I mean, we talk about Mo Wagner a little bit, and that's great. But in my head, that's not even an option, right? Because if Carlo can't be Mo Wagner, then you can just cut Carlo, right? And I guess that for me is where when you start to try to identify styles of player, Carlo has to be able to fill that little 9 to 11 minute gap, 9 to 12 minute. If he can't fill something similar to a Mo Wagner role, then what? Then I don't, I really don't need you taking a roster spot, right? So I don't look for. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for someone that in a pinch can start, and that can give you, I think, something that Carlo, that Eves hasn't quite proven he can do just yet. So I think Brooklyn cutting him is very interesting to me. But I'm putting my eggs in that basket.
Sharpe. Yeah. Chaz, do you think Carlo what Ross was describing, can take that step into the Pelicans rotation this year, 9-11 minutes a night, corner threes, be productive off the bench, spot start? Do you think Carlo, do you see him, I guess, taking that next step this year?
I think Carlo's a 4. I think he's a 4, and I think he's one of those guys. When I say center by committee, this is more so what I mean as well. All right, we need some speed out there. We're moving slow. There's not a lot of excitement. Let's go out there. I want you to go out there. Kind of like Lou Cornett. If you got it tonight, you got it. If you don't, go sit down the rest of the night. Don't worry about it. First 5 minutes, rebounding, blocks, dunks, hit a corner 3 here or there. God, that can give you a random 12 points off the bench some nights. Some nights he's going to use 4 fouls and you won't see him the rest of the night. And with the money he's making, damn near work for free. So I ain't really worried about him. I like some of the flashes I saw from him. As far as Wagner, I think Wagner going back to Orlando with his brother just on a lower number. I think 11 mil was a little steep for him. I think because now they got real championship aspirations. I think he's going home. But to me, Sharpe would be my number 1 target. I kind of thought about Looney a little bit, but he's just so big and slow at this point. But I kind of thought about Looney a little bit. They got some interesting candidates out there, and it really depends on what you want to do. With Looney, again, him and Poole.
He's
from
29,
Milwaukee.
By the way, Chaz. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
he looks like he's 38.
But he's 29,
He's 29.
and he's 29 in prohibition years. 29.
Yeah, dog years or something. Or cat years.
Yeah. He's 29 in Alcatraz years.
Yeah,
so he coal miner. But motherfuckers on Apollo 7.
But I mean, Chaz.
But I just want to say this wrong before I pass to you. I want to say that, but him and Poole, they played him. They were friends in Milwaukee, champions. If you want to bring that type of pedigree into the building, you can do that. But I'm sorry, Ross, go ahead.
No, I was just going to kind of repropose that theory, though, right? It's none of us are sitting here saying that Eves is the end all be all. Roll him out there for 35 minutes a night, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think he's that. Maybe someday he becomes that. I don't know, but he's not right now. And so, to a certain extent, the Pelicans have put themselves in a position where it is going to be a situation of you need multiple people to fill multiple styles, depending on what you're trying to do, right? And for me, and this is why I was critical of the deal they made last year, because there's still stuff to figure out about Carlo, right? That's not a finished product. In theory, you need to play him at the 5 a little bit this year for 7-8 minutes whenever you are trying to play fast, and you need to spread the floor. And there's just some of those secondary, kind of not really on the radar things that the team really needs to figure out throughout the year that may fail, but you got to figure it out. And that's why I didn't like the amount of pressure they put on the roster that they currently have today to now go and try to at least be like an 8 seed next year or something, or it's going to seem like if they don't make the Queen trade, an 8 seed I think would be a positive next year. Now, anything less than an 8 seed is a catastrophic failure. And that's, for me, the issue with some of this stuff.
Yeah. Grub, one guy we haven't mentioned, but we've talked about is Thomas Bryant. What are your thoughts on him being a possible target for the Pelicans?
My thing is, I think they need a veteran, and I like Thomas Bryant because of that. He's a guy who can score inside and outside. He gives you a physical presence. He can take the defense away from the rim, and he's not going to need to be taught. And I think that's the biggest thing is you can't teach everybody on this roster. And so my problem with the guy, like, it's not that Sharpe doesn't have talent, but he's 23. And you've already got 5 guys on this roster who are in their first or second year. And adding to that, at the 23-year-old is going into his 5th year, sure. But it's like Thomas Bryant's taller than 6'9". I was just looking at comments, I'm sorry. But I think you need somebody who's a veteran who can give you the things you're not necessarily going to get consistently from the other guys. Be that difference. If Eve is probably going to be consistently a defensive focused center. That's where his future is in him trying to get better defensively. You have in Queen, you have somebody whose skill set is geared towards offense. In Carlo, you have somebody who's geared towards offense. In Thomas Bryant, you get a bit of a hybrid of the two. Somebody who can play in the low post, somebody who can hold down the paint, and somebody who can also score on the perimeter. So I think that's important. It just can't get any more light guys. As far as their weight, you're going to need somebody who can hold down the center spot.
Yeah. Jarrett, give me a couple targets for you at center. I mean, this is really the list. Those are the guys. Cornette, Bryant, Wagner, Sharpe, and like what Chaz says, like Wagner's probably going back to Orlando. Thomas Bryant coming off after a finals run. Who knows where he goes? Sharpe seems to be like the main target.
That's all you got left. That's the tough part, right? Like if you didn't solve this in a draft, Chaz, I saw you pose a tweet about Walker Kessler. Like I'd still be interested.
You're muted. You're muted.
My bad,
muted. Chaz, you're muted.
My bad. Oh, but yeah, no, like that would be the other option that I would still try to make happen if you're the Pelicans. Like you just need size.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I'm finished. You're good.
Oh no, what I was about to say was I was totally joking about that. Like total, that was satire. I
about
Walker
Kessler.
Yeah, the Walker Kessler because
I didn't see the trade.
In 2 second round. Was it?
You weren't joking about the interest in it, though.
No,
right?
I wasn't joking about the interest.
Like to me, he would be by far the best center on the roster. Like
absolutely, by far, and that's why you couldn't get him. Though I think you're talking about at least 2 firsts for on that contract at his age, that size, and you just draft the ace. You ain't gotta trade him. Oh yeah,
And this is when you make the type of trade you made to move up for Derik Queen, now teams know they can take advantage of you, right? Mm-hmm. So like where prior to that deal, hey, maybe it is just a first round. Maybe it is your first rounder next year for Kessler and you're good to go. Now teams know.
That's
the
wrong one to be trying to get over or getting in the mix with. Especially Joe, you haven't done this in a while. Danny just whatever the rumor I just heard about him in this draft.
You saw that?
Yeah. Dude's a demon.
I was gonna give him. Never mind.
There's one guy too. I'm sorry.
I was gonna give a bad example about I should. It's a family show. Go ahead. I'm gonna just stop.
There's one other guy that I think the Pelicans could target too, and he's not a center, but I think he's a real value for them, and it would be Jake LaRavia, because I don't think that the Kings can afford Jake LaRavia, and if you're trying to get another big who can space the floor, who can do that consistently, LaRavia I think is a guy you can get on the cheap because the Kings can't afford him, and I think he made something like $5 million last year. But I think that's somebody that the Pelicans could target again to get some spacing in that front court.
Leo, I'm just looking at some teams, and we had mentioned this team. Right? What the fuck is Portland doing? I mean, like we keep bringing them up.
Portland got every center in the NBA.
They got every center: Ayton, Klingon, Yang, Reith, Williams. I mean, would you take a shot at Robert Williams? Look, I understand the injury history. I get it. Does he have legs? Will probably be your question. I think he does. But like, at what point though, if this is your center market here, your free agency, at what point, like, what would you like? What could Portland honestly want for Robert Williams?
Put a little WD-40
Shout
on
out
his
Frank.
knee, bro. Put a little WD-40 on him. He be all right. Shout out Frank, man. Hey, yeah, I mean, I take a fly on Robert Williams. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's a low risk. You know, could be a middle to high size reward if it works out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not really expecting much because you don't think he go play the majority of the games. But if he does, I mean, well, first of all, he fit right in, right? Like he'd be at home. Like, this is the perfect place for him.
You know who I'm looking to absolutely target, bro. I'm sorry, Lito. Did you land your plane?
No, I just want one more thing. I love Jake LaRavia. I really love Jake LaRavia, and I didn't think the Pelicans had a chance at him last year. But I mean, man, he would be invaluable as far as like spacing and stuff for this team. But yeah, that's it. Go ahead, Chaz.
Man, I looking at what Orlando doing, they still need another ball handler in the backcourt. Anthony Black is still a little offensively challenged. Need some shooting. Man, I'll see what's up with Goga Batazzi, because y'all just gave the big trash dude his contract last year. Still got Jonathan Isaac on the contract. Mo Wagner, y'all won't bring Mo back. You know what I'm saying? Make Orlando great again. Got to keep him and his brother together. So I'm like, yo, what's up with Goga? Goga, they was bent like this, not playing him because of the numbers game, but Goga's a very effective, efficient dude. And I watched Goga in the preseason. Man, Goga's a monstrous size, like play, like physically. When he was matching up against Yves Missi, I was like, yo, this dude looked like fucking Ivan Drago. Like, this dude was like a monster. So I would be really interested to see if they would be looking to do some business for Goga.
So that's two teams
why
we
do you
mentioned,
think they would
Portland
be-
and Orlando. So
Yeah.
we'll go Ross and lead on. I know you got one
Well,
more.
no, I
thing.
just interested question, I guess, for the group is, I mean, because they have, I think, Goga at $8 million and Wendell Carter, I think, at 10. And I don't know what's up. I don't know what's up with Jonathan Isaac. I think he makes a lot, but
he made 14.
I'm sorry, how much?
He made 14.
Jonathan
Isaac.
Goga's got 2 years left on his contract at about $16 million.
Yeah, total, right? So I mean, he's a value, and I think when they got Wendell Carter down from whatever, I mean, maybe the out years in his deal aren't great. I mean, it just seems like they have a pretty. When you talk about a center by committee, if I was Orlando,
I'm sorry. Wendell Carter's contract. I'm sorry, Ross. Wendell Carter's contract starts at $18 million in 26-27, then goes to 19, and they got.
So he's got another year before it kicks in to the upper, but next year he's lower, right?
Yeah, next year he's 10. Well, this upcoming season he's 10. Yes.
Yeah, that's why I was like, because I think I looked at them maybe a week ago, thinking about trying to find centers, right? And for them, it felt to me like, man, if I'm them and some of the moves they've made, I kind of just roll with what I got and maybe try to find somebody, mid-season that's willing to move, that's looking for a center, because they've got kind of a nice range of skill sets if all those guys are healthy. Obviously, Jonathan Isaac, when he's healthy, is a defensive monster. You got Goga, who kind of fits a middle role there, and then Wendell Carter is sort of a jack of all trades. So I would love to get any of those three, to be honest with you. But I guess I'm curious what you think their strategy would be in terms of trying to build around Paolo, Franz, the other players, Black. Obviously, they got Suggs. I mean, do you think it's a salary dump situation at some point for them to try to free something up? Because Isaac's got a pretty bad deal long term, right?
A little bit, but see, the trade I had proposed is kind of like when you mentioned earlier, as it pertains to like the Pelicans really lost all negotiating leverage. If I want to give you a good player, I know you have to be good this year. So you got to sock it to my pocket. So if I was looking to thread the needle, add some defense, replenish some assets, and get a starting caliber big, because I do think Goga just kept getting caught up in the numbers game, because if it comes down to Mo Wagner and Michael Wendell getting his 20, you're going to get Franz, Paolo, another front court guy. So this is something I kind of had set up, right? I was looking at, this is the wrong shit. Well, I'll just explain it because I remember it off the top of my head. It was Goga and Jonathan Isaac, who was already on the trade block for Herb Jones, a 2026 pick swap. I believe it was between Orlando and Memphis. Future first in 2 seconds for Herb Jones and Jordan Hawkins. Pelicans only take on about, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, the Pelicans only take on about $4 million in additional salary. Magic save $4 million. Jordan Hawkins is the team option next year at $7 million. You could just waive him. You ain't tripping. Jonathan Isaac contract, of course, continues to drop. If you're the Pelicans defensively, you just totally solidified your front court defense, like just totally. And you got 2 firsts out there, one being 26. Washington actually holds the right to the swap. 2032 first round pick, 26 second via Detroit or Milwaukee, which should be pretty good. The 2028 second round pick. So I think if you're the Pelicans, you check multiple boxes, get some more tradable assets for as draft capital. Also, those are 2 easily movable picks because again, Herb, he ain't gonna work for free forever. And you're talking about if Alex Caruso got 21 million, 18 million, shit like that, then you're talking about Herb getting at least 23, 22 to start. And if you're the Pelicans, are you good enough to pay a non-scorer that much money? Like you think you got it like that? So that's something I had in particular. Like
Jared, I keep seeing this comment. I'm just interested to hear y'all's thoughts. Let's go, Jared Leto. What's your definition of a center or a big? Because everyone's like, well, he's not a big. What's your definition of a center or a big? Like, what does a big or a center have to do?
Screen well, rebound well, finish well, right? Finish around the basket.
Is rim protection in that or no?
Yeah, rim protection is that. But again, the game is so spaced. Help defense is a primary thing.
Well, I'm going to cut you off because I think people see rim protection and they like blocks and they instantly go look at blocks. And I'm like, no, they alter shots.
There's a difference.
There's a huge difference. But that's what my whole point, where I was like, can he alter shots? Right. Like a lot of people say this person's not a big or that person's not big. He's 6'9", he's 6'8". Does he alter shots is my biggest thing. If you block a shot, great. If you alter a shot, that's way different.
I think it's 2 parts. And it's being a deterrent too. Because I used to tell people this, I was like, Anthony Davis was a shot blocker when he was in Wolves. He wasn't a rim protector, because you could drive through AD. You know what I mean? Like he could block a lot of shots, but you could go through him and teams could get to the paint. So I think when you think about somebody like Gobert's thing is not just his ability to block those shots. As you said, he keeps people out of the paint. Like they don't want to drive. And that part is a big part for the Pelicans is because they allow so many drives. Teams, you hear AD talk about this all the time on the broadcast about teams being able to get 2 feet in the paint. Is one thing. You're not going to have the guards all of a sudden to do this defensively outside of Herb. Like you're not going to get Jordan Poole to be all first team NBA. You're not going to get a rookie in Fears to be an all defensive like that. But you can get somebody on the back end who can protect the paint and who can make it a little bit harder for teams to get to the rim and to just be a little more physical. I mean, that's part of it too. It's like it doesn't matter what he does if he blocks 5 shots in a game. You could still drive through 210 pounds.
Right. Yeah. Lito, anything on that?
As far as what a center is?
No, what a big is. Just definition of just what a productive big is. Because I think that I see this comment on Twitter and I see it in our chat. I'm just like
in reference to who? Give me an example of a guy.
Fuck. It was somebody that we were just talking about. Here you go.
Jake.
And I'm not trying to be like Juan. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, well, why is he not?
Saying he wasn't a
center. I don't think we said he was a center. Yeah,
right. I don't think we said he was. That's why. But I'm just wondering. I see it all the time. Just on the timeline, things like that. I
would say for me, center wise, is a guy probably. I mean, I want to say 6'9" and above, but height is kind of a caveat in the NBA today. So I would say play style, Kevon Looney probably wouldn't be considered a center in the past NBA, right? Because I think Kevon's 6'9", but the way Kevon plays, he's a good screener. I mean, really, what 5 said, he's a good screener. He's a good role guy. Kevon's not a shot blocker, but Kevon does a decent amount of job with rim protection. I mean, he can't jump over a sheet of paper, but he uses his body well to to keep guys out of the paint. Now Kavan is a great rebounder. I think he had a 20 rebound game against I forgot what playoff game that was, but anyways, somebody like Kevon Looney is a center in the NBA. Goga obviously is a center. Trying to think of guys we named.
Cornette.
Draymond.
Drake. Okay,
that's my thing. Draymond's a perfect example. He's a Hall of Famer.
Here's a great example of this. Paul Reed, right? Paul Reed plays center. Paul Reed is not a center.
Like John Collins, would you consider him a center?
And I can give you even a more egregious example.
Ross, Chaz.
Oh,
What?
There's this.
I thought the AC. Ross got the AC on this bitch. Like,
Yeah, it does. It's kind of loud. I sit right by it. I'll give you a worse example though, Lito. Is Niang?
yeah.
Right. Like
That's
he
crazy.
soaked up a ton of the minutes at the 5 behind Jared Allen this year, and no one, if he walks in a room, is going to be like, found him. Found my center. And so the question to me is almost nonsensical because depends on who the hell's on the roster.
We had Larry Nance playing the 5. Like, what are we?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you look at who like, I just totally agree. I mean, even somebody like Isaiah Stewart is not a traditional center, and he backed up the 5. There's a ton of people. It just it depends on the roster. I don't think today's NBA, you can't look at it the same way you did maybe in 1992. Because there's a lot of teams that are using that secondary big as a pace and space guy, right? And so, yeah, like, can Carlo? No one would if he walks in a room, knows to say, Carlo's our backup 5. He's a rim to turn. He's a good. He ain't any of that shit. None of it.
Hold on, Ross.
Oh.
I ain't gonna let you disrespect my kids like that. Now get a load of this.
I mean, these two forward.
Corey Joseph got it.
That's blocked.
Yeah, good play by Carlo. Good read and reaction time.
Take off, Carlo. Take off.
He will.
Now,
Perfect example. That's all you need to be able to do. Jump side and run the floor. That is a
and
backup
some
big.
nights you're not
For
gonna
me,
play at all.
For me, that's a backup big in the NBA, though.
So Jared, I was watching some film. I was actually watching Lito's breakdown of the Derik Queen stuff again. Like, go watch Queen. I'm not saying this dude is your rim protect. I'm just saying he's very active around the rim and he affects shots and he battles for rebounds. I was like, he's on a 5. I'm like, he could play center for 5 to 6 minutes a night if we really needed him to.
Am I tripping? Are his arms super long?
Like,
Like,
he's
like he looks like his arms like extend.
Have you seen his arms?
Yeah,
he's got arms.
he's got arms, but like he plays like he's 7 foot at times, especially like around the basket. He always has like the ball high when he gets a rebound. It's never like below his waist. You never see him like fumbling the ball. Being really strong with the ball. That's really a problem with the Pelicans at times. So, yeah, he could play. He can play the 5 or 5-6 minutes. I'd love to see that. If you're especially gonna have him out there with like the elite talent, and hey, your role is limited. You screen, rebound, pick and pop, finish. That's all you would have to do. He can get minutes then.
Yeah, I mean, look, 5. If
Just you
Bobby
worry about
Portis and
this is going to be.
Yeah, grow up. I mean, same thing. If Bobby Portis and Naz Reid can soak up 10 minutes a night at the 5, there's no reason to think the long-term Derik Queen can't either. I mean, come on.
No,
That's why I was just like, I just thought it was funny. I proposed like this question the other day, who would be your starting 5? I'm like, why just not put Derik Queen at the 5 to start and play? I know. Okay. Like I get it, but like it's a 5-minute spurt. It's a 5-minute spurt. I know, but like, I kind of want to see it. Fuck it.
I mean, I hear you, but all I can think of is, all right, you're gonna start the game. They're gonna pick on his ass as soon as he get out there, and then he's gonna have 2 quick fouls. Now he's out of the game. Like,
learning curve, baby.
yeah. Like this, but I think that's the ultimate problem when we look at this team. Is like, yeah, they're better offensively. I think we would all agree that they're better offensively with what they have, what considered before the draft. But who are they going to stop? Like, this was a bottom 5 defense last year. And who are they going to stop with these guys? Like, outside of Herb and Trey, defensively, like this, I'm not going to say Jordan Poole is a nightmare. I'm not going to say that at all. I think he gives effort, but I mean, I don't think you're going to confuse any one of these dudes as stoppers. And for this team to win, like that's the one thing is like they have to really be able to defensive rebound, and they have to generate turnovers. Those are the two things that they're going to have to do, because there's no one you're going to add to make this a legitimate, like a plus rebounding team. Like they got to survive on the glass, and they've got guys who do a good job on the offensive glass, in Eve and in Zion, and to an extent, some of these other guys. But defensive boards, how are they going to stop teams again from scoring so much around the paint? And that's just the biggest struggle I see for this team is like they're going to give up 100. I mean, they're going to be a really exciting team to watch, but they're going to give up a lot of points.
Well, Grubb, let me push back a little bit there, because we have been like, I mean, and Lito, I can't wait for you to jump in on this, but if I had a nickel for every time somebody told me they were top 6 in defense, all those years with Herb, like the previous years, and that was JV at center, and all I heard was that he was he might as well had a statue standing in there. And so, is there not some validity? And I'm playing devil's advocate here, but is there not some validity to, well, you get Herb back healthy and that solves your defensive problems, right? I mean, it wasn't like CJ was some kind of defensive stopper. It wasn't like Zion. Zion's the same Zion. I mean, you had the same players out there.
You didn't have the same players.
But if you get Herb back healthy.
But you also lost Dyson, who was the best on, like, and
he was
even in his 15 minutes.
He was playing 15 minutes a night.
There's nobody defensively who's better than Dyson on this team. You lost Najee. There's nobody at the forward spot who's a better defender than Najee on this team right now. You lost, like you gave we saw how much that the defense changed just by changing your center. Like it wasn't nearly as bad as people wanted to put it on before at the center spot. So it's like, I think that you did lose and Larry was your best rim protector, quite frankly. I mean, you gave away, and no, I mean, Griffin said this himself, and I think we all would say the same. They weren't great defensively against good teams. They were good enough to beat up on bad teams defensively. They weren't good enough to beat up on good teams defensively, but you don't have guys who are good defenders on this roster now, like outside of Herb. And I think that the problem is if you're relying on Herb, you're going to put him back in the same position you ended up with last year of him getting hurt. He can't do everything. Like you can't make that dude can't do all the things.
I think I do think a lot of the defensive numbers were overrated given some of the context, right? You played a lot of teams that were missing a lot of talented guys. Yeah, I mean, teams missed a lot of wide open. I think the Pelicans gave up. They were one of the teams that gave like the most. Wide open misses.
Fucking luck, bro.
It's totally like. Just
I don't know why
right?
that's even a stat, but
right.
Yeah,
so that's why, and even when you go to the playoffs, I believe the Pelicans were also, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been either top 4, top 6 in the playoffs versus OKC, and well, they barely gave Dyson any run, but versus OKC, but you couldn't score 90 points. So for me, I always felt like you needed to be middle of the pack with the Pelicans. Like I feel like if you can lean into your offensive strengths and generate easy looks, defensive rebound and things like that, yeah, of course. But like truthfully, again, when you play like the good teams, the teams that really matter, I don't think you really got nobody that's stopping nobody anyway. Like I saw Devin Booker score 60? He did it like 3 or 4 fucking times.
He did it 3 times in a row, 50
yeah,
more points.
It's like like okay, like when the big dogs show up, ain't nothing you can do but try to outgun them. And I think if you're the Pelicans, you just need to be competent. Just need to be competent and don't give up second chances.
Yeah, to Chaz's point, like it's a terrible way to try to play basketball, like defense first. I don't think that's a winning basketball, especially during the regular season. There's no way for you to you can't survive that way.
Yeah, Jared, you're barely game planning.
Barely. I think that's a lazy way of looking at it. We're just going to lean on our defense and try to get out and transition and run. Like, no, you need to be more competent on offense and just be an opportunist on defense, right? Get your rebounds, right? Get the rebounds that you're supposed to get out in transition, get those points. Do that. If you break even and just be productive on the offensive end, that should get you a win, usually.
You just mentioned something, Lito. I'm going to go here in a second, but when the Saints won the Super Bowl, they didn't have like the best defense, but they were opportunity. Like they got the turnover at the right time, right? Like they were that. Like that's what you got to be situational. I keep like saying this. In the last 6 minutes, that's when your defense has to show up. When it's a possession game in the crunch time, like back and forth the first 3 quarters, like you need offense. Like you got to be able to score.
Yeah.
That's why you see all these high scoring games in the regular season. Then come playoff time, then your defense is going to play for 4 quarters. Go ahead, Lito.
Let me play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
I feel like his whole tenure here, or prior to coming to New Orleans, I was told that the coach is, I'm not going to say his name, but the coach gets buy-in defensively, and he's a defensive strategist, and this is what he does, right? So I should be able to lean on the coach in order to get guys to get buy-in and make them better defensive players. Correct, or am I wrong in that approach?
I think, yeah,
It's a strong suit, allegedly.
And to Lito's point, also, I think
So
when you got upper echelon talent, like Shea solid defensively at times, but he just so much more talented than like what's his name, Jokic. You go back to those Zion games versus the Suns, like it's just the defense, or even against Minnesota. It's like Ant and Zion, even if you think they're about what, it's just like it's about elite talent. I think those elite talent guys, when they start making those game-winning plays, I think that shifts the tides so much. That even defensively, Zion getting 4 and 5 fucking blocks, like he might never do that again. There's like getting 4 and 5 steals, diving on the floor, like certain things those upper echelon elite talent guys can do really changes the tide. The issue with the Pelicans, in my opinion, is your elite talent guy rarely really plays. So, but I think if he plays more, you'll see more impact. I was speaking to McNamara the other day, and I was speaking more so in context of Herb or just defense first, or quote unquote defense only guys, right? I was saying, well, if your team is healthy, if your main offensive engines are healthy, be it Zion, Trey, I don't know who else you want to count the third person. Let's say Poole, right? Poole. Having an elite defender matters a little bit less, because now you got a quote unquote MVP caliber offensive engine. You got a guy who showed you he could have multiple 20-point games, 30-point games, etc. in both Poole and Trey. So it matters a little bit less. But if those guys are hurt, if Zion is hurt, Trey is hurt, the defense don't matter at all. And that's to me why,
how many of the bottom 15 defenses had a winning record last year?
I would have to look.
How many?
Yeah.
How many? Just guess. How many of the bottom 15?
Did the bottom 15 had a winning record? Well,
bottom 15 defensive.
No.
Let me see. 16 teams go to the playoffs. So I'm going to say 14. Wait, you say bottom 15s? Oh, they're bottom 15. I'm going to presume none of them.
Worst 15 defensive teams. How many of them had winning records?
Two.
Lakers?
The Lakers and the Nuggets.
Mavericks had a winning record or no?
Those teams. Both, huh?
Mavericks?
Nope. Mavericks had 39.
The Mavericks went to the play-in. They also had some crazy.
I'm saying winning records. I didn't say playoffs. I said how many had winning records.
Yeah, that's the
championship.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Denver's a top 5 offense. The Lakers were a top 10 offense. So if you're going to be bad defensively, you have to be elite offensively.
Right.
Are we saying that this Pelicans team is going to be elite? There's going to be turnovers. There's going to be missed shots. There's going to be mistakes because you've got 5 first and second year players in your top 10. 5 first and second year players in your top 10 of your rotation. You telling me there's not going to be a bunch of turnovers? You telling me that's going to be a consistent offensive team? Like, they have talent, yeah, but they got to be better than that defensively. The Pacers were 17th in defense, but that was over the first half. The second half of the season, the Pacers were top 5 defensively.
I think that kind of
got to be good. Like, you can't be bottom 10 in defense and think you're gonna win games. Like, no, you don't have to be number 1, but dang, like this idea that they can just be okay and make the playoffs is just not true. You got to be, but at least average. Like you can't be mediocre or worse.
Yeah, I think that's what. Go ahead, Lito, my bad.
No, I was gonna say also. I mean, you working from a deficit with a coach. Like whatever you got, he's run you down. You know what I'm saying? Either way, offensively and defensively. So it's like you already behind the 8 ball, especially with this team. Dependability, availability has been its Achilles heel. Like, so I already have that, and then I don't have a strategist leading us. Like, you just got a guy who's just gonna say some shit like, man, everybody wear a red tie on Sunday. It's like, dog, like that is not helping us in this game. That is you already behind with this team. So if you not go be elite on either side of the ball, like, yeah, I agree with you, bro.
I don't think anybody. My bad.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's saying like, yeah, it'll be bad defensively. We were just kind of mentioning like being middle of the pack, but I don't think being defensive like first wins anything. To be honest, like if you can't be really good defensively and then really bad offensively, you need to be at least middle of the pack in both, and then figure out what that is for you. Like, right, that's where the balance is, or that's where the foundation is created. Now, if you got let's say a 15th ranked offense, but yet you had a 7th ranked defense, I would be cool with that, right?
That's
like,
the Clippers.
At least
that's basically the Clippers. You're the Clippers that's basically where you are. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, at least I know what that looks like, and then you're competent enough. Be competent in both areas, and then eventually, like, one will lead you, to the promised land of the playoffs. That's all we're really saying, right?
I also think you look at like Golden State or Boston when they were going to the finals. We were talking about like number 1 and number 2, but you also look at that style of play offensively. It's a back-breaking pace shooting. Like, it's an incredible style of play offensively to the point where there's really all you really can do is hope teams miss shots. Like, there's no defending it. It's really nothing you can do. And even if you're an incredible defense, it's like all we got to do is run step off the line. When it comes to the great teams, there's nothing you can do.
Bro,
like,
that's just the whole philosophy of a basketball defensive team is you're hoping to make it. You're just looking to hope to contest and then rebound. That's it. Like, if they make it, hey, man, tap them all, like, good shot. Like, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah,
hey, bro. I'm just going to respond, add something to Chaz. I don't think Golden State was really that good defensively.
Hell no.
Which time?
Yeah.
Which time? The original group?
Like the original group. I didn't think they were that good defensively. Just in my opinion. Their offense was so great that cats were scared.
Everything you can do. Yeah.
Mind you, like, a fucker just hit 2 threes in a row. You miss this next one, it's rap.
Pressure.
It's so
like the offense gave the other team so much pressure that they couldn't even play offense. 9 points turned into 20 so quick with them.
Yep. Yeah, well said.
I think that's kind of what Indiana does. I mean, to be honest, I think that's what Indiana does. I don't think they're a great defensive team. They have some very good individual defenders. But I think, the Pacers try to put so much pressure on you constantly that they can put a 20 point. I mean, you see that with Oklahoma City. Like, you talk about Oklahoma City, it's got a couple of really good defenders in Chet and Shea and Jalen. But the rest of it is like you said, when teams know that they can score every possession, I think that's how they get so many deflections, because there is that pressure. And I think that's absolutely, you have to be efficient on offense to be a great defense. I think that helps because you are forcing that pressure on the other team and you're limiting your mistakes. And I think that's the thing for the Pelicans too, is offensively, the limiting of the mistakes this year. You know what I mean? Like, you always want them to run, but who's going to make sure that there's not mistakes in a half court when you do stop the running? Like, that just seems like a lot of guys are going to turn the ball over.
Wait, Rob.
This is where, and like I in general, like I know we're talking about principles, basketball, and all this other stuff, but this is where I really agree with what Chaz has said for the last probably 2.5 years. Is that we can talk about being good at basketball or being good defensively or being good off whatever. You know what happens when Zion plays? We win more than we lose. They win more than they lose. It's shocking when your superstar plays, happens. And so it's like we can look at all these ancillary players and talk about, well, if this person plays, we're better defensively. And if that person plays, we rebound better. And if this person plays, if Zion plays, they're going to win more games than they lose. That is now over a couple hundred games of his career with all of the injuries and all the Brandon Ingram stuff and all of the CJ McCollum stuff and Willie Green being the worst coach and walking the plan, all of that stuff, all of those things. When Zion Williamson plays, they win more than they lose. And so at the end of the day, I don't really give a shit about all the other stuff. Like if it's time for me, it's put up or shut up time for him. Like we're so far beyond all the other stuff. We can evaluate whether the rookies are going to be good or whether they're going to rebound or whether Eves can hold up as a center. That's all great. It really is all great. It's put up or shut up time. Like we all believe, because the data points to the fact that when he plays, we win. It's time. Either play the whole season and let's see what happens. But if not, then we got to stop spinning our wheels on this, because it's easy to look back and say when he plays, we win. You got to play though. It's time to play.
And that's why, like, it used to. It's a terrible way to phrase it, but that's why I just always used to say, like, man, some of them dudes just don't matter, dog. Like, and it's a fucked up way to say it, but it's
not.
You know,
Truthful.
Because I don't mean it on a human level. And
Jazz, and they may matter on a random, like on a random Wednesday in February.
Night.
But over the course of 82 games, there's a lot of guys that just really don't matter.
Yeah, dog. Like even this past time, and again, I'm not trying to diminish what Herb does at all. When Zion comes back, we like, oh fuck, we about to fuck up our draft pick. What is this dude doing? Like, set him down. Like, what is happening here? Or like you had the time when Brandon had the toe injury and Zion went crazy for like 10, 12 games before getting hurt against the 76ers. You had the time last season where Brandon goes down with the fucked up sprained knee injury. And yeah, man, so you a hoe for that sprained knee injury. And Zion goes supernova defensively, like against the Suns and in other games. They were down like 20 points against the Warriors and motherfucker shooting threes and doing all kind of shit. That's why I'm just like, I feel like if you can just be disruptive at the rim and have defensive rebound, you can't be a motherfucking turnstile. But I think it don't matter how elite defensively you are if you ain't got a high level MVP caliber guy, best on any given night caliber player on the court. And that was always my argument with Zion. Like, at least you got the chance.
True, I don't think anybody will argue that. I don't think anybody will argue that. If you don't have an MVP candidate, you ain't winning no championship. It's that simple.
But I don't even grab a championship.
I'm not even saying championship.
He's talking about just getting to the playoffs.
I'm talking about the playoffs.
Right? I mean, I remember. I don't even remember how many games Zion played last year, but I remember the last one. I remember the last one he played. What was it? Whenever he just went ape shit against Minnesota, and everybody was like, "Hey, it's time for him to sit down." Yeah, like it's too late in the season for him to be doing this. When he went nuts against Minnesota. I think might have even been on the road.
Yeah, it was on the road. That's
on the road. He goes scores 30, shoots 15 free throws or whatever. Everybody's like, oh, hey, hold on. All right, Zion's cool. Yeah. Like, go until he needs to go somewhere.
That was the game where the dude getting hacked crazy by McDaniel. They're like, Willie Green, what you doing?
I remember that. I vividly remember that game. It's like, Willie, you gotta do something here. Anyways, you want to say something? Go ahead, Jerry. You got something?
Nah, it's cool. I was just gonna say, man, like, I get it, right? Zion's fucking awesome. He's fucking awesome. He's really good. If he plays, we win, right? The fucking issue really is, he's not gonna play.
Yeah.
Right? What fucking plan do you have for when he doesn't play? You shouldn't lose all the motherfucking games, right? That's all I'm saying. Or at least be competent in them. Like, hey, we don't have to change the way we play because Zion's out.
That's what makes the trade.
You gotta fight.
Crazy in hindsight.
That's what coaching is the problem.
You gotta fight.
It's always the problem.
Because if the Clippers with no Kawhi, right? Clippers had no Kawhi almost the entire regular season, pretty much. He played regular season
look
game.
At Memphis when Ja Morant was out.
When Ja was out, a couple years ago.
He played.
See, this is the thing Zion actually does really good. He covers shit up. Zion being out allows Willie Green just to be trash. And when he comes back, they're winning some games.
Cole,
we just needed Zion.
Smash the like button. 54 minutes in, about 350 people here. Appreciate y'all. So we're talking about the rookies. Before we get to that, I got some news regarding Corey Brewer being the head coach of the summer league team. So Corey Brewer will be
Shout out.
Corey Brewer will
CB.
be the head coach of the summer league team. Lito, I'm interested because the summer league team, he's gonna have obviously the 3 rookies. I'm pretty sure he'll have Carlo for a couple of games. Maybe possibly Jordan Hawkins. He's still on the roster. Corey's actually well regarded. Like a lot of the players really, really like him. I know he's really close to Trey Murphy in that development. People keep asking, I keep seeing this whole James Borrego stuff. I have no idea what's happening there, but for a guy like Corey Brewer, what do you think he can show you here in the summer league? Because this is his team. So I'm interested to see how these players come in, what kind of philosophy he instills in this team for 2.5, 3 weeks.
Man, the hardest thing about Corey's job this summer is going to be if he's playing in the Big 3 and coaching.
So I think he's out of the Big 3. He's out. I think they got eliminated. Is that right, Chaz?
I don't know if they got eliminated. He was just in Baltimore. He was just out here hooping.
I definitely think he can't do both. Like I think there's just like he's got to do the summer league.
All jokes aside, I really and truly think that he won't have an issue reaching the guys. Like, I mean, Corey Brewer's a hard worker. He still, when you go to practice, he's still hooping. He's still playing. Like he's hands-on in his approach to the game, and he's not so far removed to where he can't understand where these guys are coming from. Got a young son who hooping, so he's in that coaching aspect, from gym to home, right? From home to gym. And I think guys, especially the rookies, can rely on him to be uplifting in a way where it's not annoying. Like he's gonna give it to you in a real aspect. Like it's gonna come out real. It's not gonna be some bullshit. And that's what I think you can expect from Corey. I think Corey gonna do a fantastic job coaching. To be honest, I think I'm happy he got this opportunity. I think that especially we talking defense, right? Well, that's what he hung his hat on defensively. Like he was a guy who gave,
but also dropped 50 on you.
Yeah, and that's crazy. I still don't understand how he scored 50. I don't understand.
You muted, Ross.
That's Ross.
Are we going
to summer league? We haven't planned. Do you want to go? I'll go.
Yeah,
we going?
Shit, I'll go.
Look, I thought y'all was going to the draft. That's what I thought. Y'all told me y'all was going to the draft. I was like,
is someone going?
Oh, you never seen
We got three rookies. Is somebody? What are we doing? Are we going?
Shit. Last time we ain't got to talk about
Lito, what happened last time?
We don't even need to talk about what happened last time.
That's one company burger and talk about the other stuff on the other half of the other show. Let's get the lights on, please.
Company Burger is the official burger of Pro Pels Talk and Boot Crew Media. Located at 4600 Ferret Street, Company Burger has been locally owned and operated for 11 years. Grind the meat, bake the buns, make the mayo, get the homemade tots. Company Burger uses Creekstone Farms prime beef to create the best burger in the city with milkshakes to go and a full bar. Company Burger is open every day besides Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Can't make it out? No worries, we have you covered. You can order online right now at thecompanyburger.com or check them out on the Toast or Uber Eats app. Company Burger, the official burger of Boot Crew Media. Anyways, smash the like button. Appreciate Company Burger. So let's get over to what happened last. I think it was on Saturday. Yeah. So rookies got introduced. I want to hear everyone's thoughts because this was kind of a talking point of what Derik Queen said at the presser. I got the video right here. Here's what Derik Queen had to say in his introductory press conference.
This question's for Derik. Right here. A lot of criticism about the trade. Does that give you some even extra motivation just hearing people talk about the trade?
Yes, definitely. Cause I mean, I'm gonna say here, I don't think nobody in that class ever gonna be better than me. So I block all the noise out, and then he got a lot of faith in me. Most of those guys I beat on in high school, so it don't really matter. But just gotta continue. I know the NBA is a whole different level, so just gotta continue getting better. Don't get too.
Thoughts, Jarrett, first.
Like it's a dude from Maryland trying to say something. I don't know. I don't know what he's trying to get off, but I got the hiccups like a 5-year-old right now. Yeah, but I don't know what to take from there from Derik Queen.
A lot of people reacted to it. Like I personally kind of liked it, but there were some that kind of disagree with it. Shout out the hiccups. Hey, by the way, if you ever had hiccups, you drink water and press your ears in. It works, by the way. You just calm it down, it goes away.
I drank the water with a straw.
Yeah, so you can just get a straw.
This,
you like pressing
come to Propels Talk, bro. You get hiccup advice.
You just hold your breath.
Basketball,
Just hold your breath.
See, the holding the breath does not work.
It works. I've been doing it for 20 years. It works.
See, I've been doing the ears and sipping water, and
10 sips of water done, and it never.
The one that works for kids is you scare them. They turn a corner.
That is never
scares.
worked.
It 110% works.
So you have 110% of scaring kids, and then 100% of holding your breath.
Ross is 72-0 in scaring children.
Undefeated. Never
how many
lost.
how many times have you scared a kid out of hiccups? By the way,
hell, I scared Bobby out of him 3 days ago.
Shout out Bobby.
Shout out Bobby.
Leo, did you think anything of that clip? We'll go Chaz. Chaz next.
I think, okay, so what else am I supposed to say? You know what I'm saying? Like, what else am I supposed to say in this situation? Of course, like, the thing, I guess one of the things, I think Chaz might have said this, one of the things that I really don't like about it is that maybe he is feeling the pressure of or hearing and listening to the outside voices, right? I don't like that because I just want him to come in and hoop. I really don't want that particular issue on his mind. Of course, I love when people talk that shit. So that part of it was great. I love advocacy, self-advocacy. I think that's beautiful. I was a little confused if he was saying this draft class or if he was saying the next year's draft class.
Chaz had mentioned. Yeah, go ahead, Chaz.
So I didn't really go ahead.
No, Leader.
No, I was just gonna say that was a little bit confusing. I mean, other than that, I mean, I'm fine with it. Like, I listen. As a fan of this team, we've been begging for people to be vocal, and sometimes you just gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're used to these normal, like, I'm excited. This is a guy, a little chip on his shoulder.
Hey, he's taking it personal, right? He took it personal. Great.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chaz.
I think he's absolutely talking about. First, I want to shout out the questions being asked. I think they asked some great questions during the press conference, but I think he's absolutely talking about the next draft class. And personally, I like his confidence. I think he's going to fit in well with the Pools and the Zions and the trades. Like these dudes who already know they code, kind of probably wasn't able to show it as much given, this organization originally how it was, but all this humility and all this weird old tree hugger shit. Nobody want to see that bullshit. We want to talk turkey. Let's talk turkey around this bitch. So now he's bringing, some attitudinal changes here. I like that. I think he's going to mesh well. Fears is another person, confident. You know what I'm saying? And for homie, now the one thing I did kind of have a little bit of a.
What do you say?
You know what? Never mind. That's my brother. He's a young man. I'm gonna support him. I'm just not gonna say it. Nothing.
Okay. Grub, go ahead.
I mean, I like the confidence. The one thing though is like the way you say things can come back to haunt you. Like there was this thing that Shaq said when he first got to the Lakers. I don't know if y'all remember this, but they asked Shaq about bringing championships back to LA, and he said, "I've won everywhere except college and the pros." Like, and you're like, well, that's most of it, right? Like, like that's the thing. It's like no one cares about your high school championships. Like you were supposed to win in college, and you're supposed to win in the NBA, and he hadn't at that point. And I think the thing for Queen is just bigs do take a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't usually hit your stride as a post player till third year is when you really start to assert yourselves. Whether we're talking about Dwight Howard, really, like it usually takes a minute. And I'm like, I just don't want to see the young man putting any pressure to compare himself to anybody in the league this year, or anybody in the league coming next year. Like you are competing against all 400 whatever players there are in the NBA, and that's who you're in competition with. It's not about draft classes anymore. You're in a grown man's league where guys are playing for the money to feed their families. Like that's your focus. I'm not saying he said something wrong. I'm just saying I hope that people pull this quote afterwards and like, hey, we ain't focused on high school anymore. We ain't focused on college anymore. We're talking about you got to compete every day against these adults. And those are the people you're chasing. You're trying to be better for yourself every day, and you're trying to be better for this team every day. But I'm fine overall with his level of confidence. Him and Fears both. Like, yeah, you should come in the league and think you're going to do good things. You absolutely should. You should come in and make the guys who are veterans on your team, they should feel worried about their spots because you want to come for them. Pause. But like ultimately you want these guys to know the difference, that this is not. And I saw Michael Beasley, I'm gonna wrap it up on this. I saw Michael Beasley talk about this in an interview, is that a lot of guys, he said, a lot of guys come in from the college level and you were successful, and you do let up off the gas when you first come in because you think you made it. And that's the one thing for both of these guys, because there are question marks, especially for Queen and his fitness and that part of it. Like, I hope he shows up to training camp. Obviously, summer league is not the same amount of time, but you want to see him to come into to training camp, physically fit and ready to compete.
Yep.
One thing, Leo, before I get to second, one thing I do like about, it's not in the presser, but someone asked, do you model your game after anybody? And he was like, I try to do I pass about Jokic, but everything else is me. I want to be about me. And I don't like to like he said, like he talked about watching others, but he also implements his own stuff. So like I kind of liked hearing that from Queen. Leo, do you want to say something?
No.
You're good. I guess my next question to you then, Leo, and then we'll go Ross, is I've seen, and we talked about it earlier today or earlier on the show, that Zion and Queen cannot play together. You had tweeted me on your film breakdown.
26-minute mark, baby.
26-minute mark. Go ahead.
Yeah. Five was there. He's seen the passing. I don't have a especially if we talking like offensive fit, right? Like
there's more of defensively, but we can do both.
I mean, he's not a good defender. Like he's not good. He's not a good defender. He's gonna get put in pick and rolls. He's gonna be picked on. You would hope that, Zion could be the weak side help that he would need in order to, feel confident in his time on the floor. Depends on what Zion you get. Like there's, do you know the thing I hate about this team, dog? Is nothing is 100% certain. I don't know what Zion I'm gonna get. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like Ross was talking about it's time. I hate to hijack this question, but Ross was talking about it's time, for Zion to show up and be who you said you were going to be. This has by and large been his tenure in the NBA, to me, has been a disappointment, especially seeing how he started. I think there was the list of rookies points per bro. Like
he was number one.
What are we doing? Why are we here? And why are there still questions in going into this year? It's infuriating. Can they play together? I'm sorry. Yes, they can play together. I'm more sold on them playing together offensively than I am defensively. Because as good as a defender Zion has been fairly recently, still has these laps. He has a lot of lapses. And if I'm on the floor, if he's on the floor with,
it's focus and being in shape. That's all it is.
You a veteran now though. Like you the old head in the locker room now. You gotta be the one. You gotta be the one to set the tone. Like ain't they focus? Like you supposed to be in here. He's supposed to have Derik Queen number right now. They supposed to be in the lab right now.
Yeah, Ross, go ahead.
I think it's complete nonsense
that they can't play together.
That the question's even being asked.
Offensively or defensively?
Either. Like how many 13th picks do people ask and say, can X player, like, is he going to be able to play with our superstar? Like, are they going to be able to? What are we talking about? I'm being honest. I'm not just saying that like I'm not trying to be funny or just stir the pot, but like let's use here just last year's example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did Sacramento draft Devin Carter? Most of you, Devin Carter, right? Here we go. Do we even know who Devin Carter is? That's a separate question. But like, did Sacramento draft Devin Carter last year and say, man, is this all going to work? Like, can Devin Carter play with De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk, or the previous year? Was the huge question whether Toronto, Grady Dick could play with who? Paul, that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
man.
but bro,
that doesn't count.
But can I push back just a little bit?
There you go, Lito. Of course.
You can. And look, Chaz, I understand he's a trade, and I understand all that stuff.
That's really what it is.
Well, I know. I understand that's what it is.
Yeah.
But that's putting the cart before the horse for me because that's making the presumption that they drafted Derik Queen to play with Zion whatsoever, which I don't know that they did. I believe the Derik Queen draft pick was taking the best talent available. Ignore the trade. Let's ignore the trade for a second. Okay. Forget that they overpaid. Forget all that stuff. Just assume we had 7 and 13. Okay. If they had drafted Derik Queen at 13, we would not be asking this question. We would be saying they took the best talent available at 13.
Right.
And you'll figure it out later. I think putting additional pressure on a kid that seems young to me. He seems, I don't want to say immature because immature has a negative connotation, but he seems young.
Baby.
And saying, can he play with, gives a shit. Like, that's not the question. Like the question is he going to ultimately be a good player? It's on your coach that has proven nothing over the last 5 years to figure out a way for them to play together. When you're in the 13 to 25 or whatever range,
you
draft the best damn talent you can get. We've all been critical of the team of being like trying to cherry pick, and this for me is why I hate that they gave up what they gave up to get Derik Queen at 13. I hate that they made that move because now the only thing anybody can talk about or all we can theorize on is, well, is he going to be this? Is he going to justify that? Is it all going to be? And it's just so unfair now to the kid that I believe to be incredibly talented. And we talked about it. Lito, y'all did a show. I think he's an incredibly talented offensive player. I think he can be a success in the NBA. But now we have to go through this rigmarole of like, can he play with Zion? Well, Zion don't ever play. So just go out there and get the best player you can get, and let's figure it out later. But I don't know, man. I don't even feel like having the discussion because I think it's ridiculous, to be honest.
I think you can remove Zion from the equation. I think Zion can play with anyone, right? I think very talented people can play with anyone. Same with Queen. Now, I think a better question is defensively, can Derik Queen stay on the floor? And to me, that's a greater question, irregardless of who's on the floor with him.
I agree.
That's why I think he's more of a 4 than a 5 because he's heavy, but I don't know if he's strong or not yet. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Yeah, like he in the post.
Like, can he be a Bobby Portis or a Nasri, the guys that we talked about earlier?
And those guys are, more.
I agree, Chad.
Body composition is a bit different, but also with Derik Queen, because just focusing on offense, because I think with him, you just need him not to be a disaster defensively, right? Which could happen, but also taking into account, and this is something that bothers me a little bit. Now, school systems are different everywhere. Like, I finished high school when I was 16, but in certain states, you might finish a little later. So Derik Queen is 20 years old. He'll be 21 in December. So you were a 20-year-old freshman. To me, that's something that kind of bothered me initially going into the draft. I'm like, well, the upside probably ain't really there like that. Not just because of his age, more so because of the style of play. Now it's more about refining what he does well, extending his shot range and things of that nature. But the focus on the positives and his pairing with virtually anyone offensively, his ability to put the ball on the floor makes him, and his ability to get out of the way makes him such a threat offensively, because even with Jonas, right? You put Jonas, Zion and Jonas in the dunking spot was money. They should have went to that so many times, and they just never do it. They did it. If it worked twice, they immediately stopped doing it. With Derik Queen, he can get out of the way, drive downhill, you know what I'm saying, shifty with that Euro. He can do a lot of things with the ball in his hands. To me, that's what makes him offensively as a complimentary player, or even if you want to say he's a focal point, what have you. I think he has a lot to offer offensively just for his ability to get out of the way, because that is so important to me when defenses start shrinking the floor as a big man. If you just know how to get the fuck out of the way and you're a real
there's
threat.
no space. You got no space.
Yeah.
Just got no space.
Yeah. And I don't mean get out the way in a negative way, because
that's what I was saying. Like, I know what you were I know what you exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Space. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just this point here, because I know this has come up. In fact, I've had some people like text me about this question, be like, "Hey, what do you think about Queen in the summer league? This, that, and the other. Is it going to be pivotal?" In Five and Lito, I want y'all's opinion, because I know y'all been to summer league before, so you've seen it, I think, more up close than I have. I think I almost think it's silly to judge him.
Yes.
Like on what's going to happen in summer, because I personally believe he's going to just destroy summer league. But I also don't think it's going to have any bearing on any way on what's going to happen next season. And I guess having not seen it firsthand in person, I want you guys that have been, y'all have seen it to give me your opinion on whether you actually believe that him just destroying summer league, or I mean, if he's terrible, obviously it's going to look bad, but just what's your opinion on whether summer league almost matters to a certain extent, and what you think he'll do?
Let me say this real quick, because to me, first of all, summer league is dependent so much on guards. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have real point guards by and large in summer league.
Yep.
So to me, I don't really worry. Like, the things you look for in summer league to me is like when you're in the preseason. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I don't care if Derik Queen scores 8 points a game in the summer. Does he run up and down the floor? Does he attack the glass? Is he aggressive? Is he consistently aggressive with the basketball? Even if he's turning it over. Because remember, we had Carlo last season. There were games we was getting 10, 12 fouls. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But he was continuing to be aggressive. Herb's first year in summer league, he couldn't make a layup. But you could see that he was going to help the team be better because he was constantly active. So that, for me, is the biggest thing when you get to summer league is our guys still trying. They have the same confidence to do what they did in college, whatever, in summer league. Because I think you're so guard dependent. And there's nobody, the guards are looking to get shots off more than anything else. They're not really looking to orchestrate and create offense. I think for Queen, it's just going to be, can he run up and is he going to run up and down the floor consistently? That's what people are going to be looking at, his level of fitness and his level of just attack, his willingness to attack on both ends of the floor. Like, is he going to attack the glass defensively, and is he going to attack people offensively? If he does those things, I'm not worried about his field goal percentage. I'm not worried about the points that he puts up, because none of that's going to matter when we get to, with Eves. With Eve, we thought he was completely lost in summer league, and then he ends up being a starter. Like, there's so much growth that can happen, but are you giving that effort?
Grub, I agree with you generally, but then I look at somebody like Jabari Smith, who just went up, pardon my language, ape shit during summer league. And I look at somebody like Jaime Hackett. I look at some of the players that are similar, and they did play really well and put up a lot of points. Guys that I didn't expect, and they played really, really well. And so I guess that's what I'm like. What are you looking for? And because he is going to be playing with a good guard, and so I guess what are the expectations? I'm not saying I'm going to judge him on it necessarily, but there has to be some expectation, right?
Go ahead, Jared.
It's two-sided, right? And forgive me, the hiccups are still here. Holding your breath doesn't work. Me and Lito we stayed and watched Wemby, right?
Yep.
And we watched him. It was like, bro, I don't know. That was a thought I had. Like, I don't know. It do look like he had deer legs. He seemed off. Like, I don't know what this is going to be like. I thought he was going to be more of a project. And then you see game 1 to game 82. He's, being Wemby. But also you can have, guys are out there fighting for their jobs too, right? Where you're playing with guys that are trying to get noticed by another team or the team that they're playing for. So can you really judge them on that? I think we need to keep it real simple when we talk about Derik Queen and expectations. Like, what up, Lil Beans? Can we watch him be competent, right? Can he do things that translate to the NBA game in a smaller setting, right? Can he be coached well? What happens when adversity hits, when he doesn't get the ball? What are his mannerisms like? Like, these are the things we need to be paying attention to, rather than, if he goes, 2 for 10 from the field, hey, yeah, shit happens. But, can we see competent basketball play, or the thought of competent basketball play from a really good basketball player?
To your point, Jared, it's more of, okay, if he is 2 of 10 from the field, is his confidence going to lack, or is he going to keep putting up shots? Like,
what shots did he take in those 10? You know what I'm saying? Was he taking shots that he's comfortable with? Was he getting into his spots in the post? Was he putting the ball on and taking just 2 dribbles to get to the bucket, not trying to, outsmart anybody?
Process.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Lito, then I guess, Chaz, you have something? I don't know if you had something.
Well, I was just going to say that I'm typically not a fan of Summer League. I do think with this particular Summer League, I wouldn't play Eve or Jordan Hawkins. Because to me, Eve has shown me enough to where I don't think you need to play in Summer League, honestly. Jordan Hawkins, I just don't need to see any more, period. Because now it's kind of like, I kind of think you're he's a second contract type of guy. You're going to figure it out. But I think it's getting to Austin Rivers territory where you start playing motherfuckers 3 and 4 years. Like, come on, man. Let the people who really going to be a part of your rotation, people you really need to evaluate and pour resources into, let them get the real run. Because the sad part about the Derik Queen thing is that the threshold for a successful fears has lowered significantly, right? The threshold for him to be successful, again, I said Jeff Teague the other day, people was like, oh, Jeff Teague, now it's like, oh my God, I hope at least he Jeff Teague, because everybody's so scared about what's going to happen with Queen. So not really, you might as well say Queen is the 7th pick. It fears it's 13. Because now Queen represents 2 first. You know what I'm saying? He really represents 3, because the selections you made and the 2 you traded to get him. He represents 3 first. So it just looks crazy.
Chaz, it's so funny you mentioned that, because I was actually talking with Jarrett the last couple of days, and I haven't looked at any Fears film. I've been strictly just watching Derik Queen for the last 2 or 3 days. Yeah, he's nice. But Queen's got more pressure on him because of what the trade than Fears does. Go ahead, Lito.
I mean, Summer League is like the N1 mixtape tour. There's not a lot that you really taking from that. To Grove's point, Justin, you remember we watched Jabari.
I remember the fedora, but yeah, go ahead.
That's crazy. You a bad friend.
I even apologized to you last time.
Keep that shit.
You're right.
Okay. We watched Jabari, right? You told me Jabari is trash. I'm like, bro, there's literally nobody out there to pass him the basketball, especially the way Jabari obviously is different from Queen, because Jabari can't create his own shot. He can do nothing with putting the basketball on the floor, right?
Yep.
Queen on the other end of it, Queen can get the ball off the glass and he can go. He could create for himself and others. I'm more so looking for, to Ross's point, I'm more so looking at the process. I want to see how he's just processing the game. How does it look? How is he making adjustments on certain things? It's gonna be a lot of turnovers between both of them, him and Queen. I mean, him and Fears. It's gonna be a lot of turnovers. And to be honest, I'm not sure at this point in his career, Queen. This is about to sound crazy. Fears may not even be in a position to make Queen better. Queen can probably make Fears better at this point of their career.
Oh, I want to get into this. I want to get into this.
Same, bro. I like that. I like that because I look at and again, you guys have seen it live, and I haven't. So I'm watching the games on damn computers and everything else. But I look at somebody like Gigi Jackson that really stood out in Summer League, went crazy. The guy, and I had no clue who Gigi Jackson was.
Right.
but 6'9", 220, whatever. I actually think what can make Queen great in summer league is the fact that he can create his own shot, that he can dribble the basketball. Like it's not. If you're treating Derik Queen as I'm trying to think, as Zach Edey, well then you've missed the mark already, right? Like he's not that player. Derik Queen is at least from what impressed me so much about when I watched this film and watched Lito, you and Chris and the other dudes' analysis was that I didn't realize how well he handled the basketball and how clean he was in terms of understanding what the defense was trying to do. And when they doubled, that he could pass out of it, and that in a one-on-one or a late rotation, he could go by someone, and that he had secondary moves. And I didn't know that about him. And this is going back 2 or 3 weeks when I watched y'all's breakdown.
Yeah.
He has game. This is not we got to get it to him on the block. And then if we get it to him on the block, we might get a buck. If that's all he is, then this is a total and unmitigated disaster of a pick. I don't believe that that's him. I believe that he's some kind of hybrid. To Chaz's point, he always refers to Zion as he's not a 4. I don't actually believe that Derik Queen is a 5. And I think he's probably closer to a 3 or a 4 in terms of play style from what I'm looking for.
Yep.
And so he should just die. I will be disappointed. I'll be disappointed if he doesn't dominate summer league because of what I perceive to be for his skill set to be, and how I think he should just be able to overmatch the talent. In a wide open game, he should be able to just overwhelm who he's playing against from a talent perspective. If he doesn't average 23, 24 in
Easy,
summer league,
bro.
I'll be a little
24.
If he doesn't average more than 20, I'll be. If he averages 16 points, I will be utterly disappointed.
But Ross,
Unbelievably disappointed.
Ross
should be enough.
That's crazy, Ross. What about 16, 10, and 5? Like I would love that. Right?
If he doesn't average
23.
The rebounding is, for me, the rebounding has nothing to do with skill. I don't care about it. If he doesn't average, I don't care. Because if he can't rebound, for me, rebounding is effort. Josh Hart I don't think is good at basketball. I swear, I've watched a million people that I don't think are good at basketball. If he doesn't rebound, then that to me is a character. That is a totally non-skill conversation we can have at another time. I believe him to be a very good passer from what I saw. And I believe him to be a very talented offensive player with the basketball in his hands. If he doesn't have points and assists, then the questions for me go from, man, I think he's super talented to like, ooh, we need to talk.
That's what I'm saying. Like you got a dynamic guard out there, and you got him. I don't see him eclipsing, 25 points for 4 games or so. Like I'm sorry, it's hard to believe. But what I do want to see, and I think y'all are kind of alluding to this, I want to see Fierce Queen pick and roll 1,000 times.
Yeah.
I mean literally 1,000 times. Matter of fact, I don't give a fuck who's doing the screening. I want to see them two in a pick and roll 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Constantly.
That's funny.
Because that's what it's gonna be. That's what it's like. He better learn how to do a Gortat screen. I want him trying everything he possibly can to figure out, like, them two married to each other in a sense, and figuring out spacing. Because you draft these guys in the first round. What if it's Jamal Murray and Jokic? What if it does look like that? I'm not putting it out there, but like, what if it does look like that?
You want to see what it looks like right now. Like, yeah, I totally agree with you.
What? I want to hear what you got, bro.
So this is the thing for fears. And I think, there have only been, and I got this big spreadsheet, and I'm going to go into details more of it tomorrow on my podcast, but there have been 13 guards, 6'4" and under, drafted in the first round over the last 4 years. The problem with young guards is there have only been 4 that averaged double figures and played more than 40 games. And that's Scoot Henderson, Keontae George, Jaden Ivey, and Trey Mann.
Do y'all see? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off here, Grub, but DeAndre Ayton is finalizing a contract buyout with the Blazers.
Ooh, good for him. Get paid, Big A.
Chinese dude about to
So-
show up. Tell him,
God, David.
So you take those 4 guys, and the thing is this, like, that's not a lot of high numbers. I mean, I think Ivy had the highest production of any of those as a rookie at 16 points per game, but they gave him the ball, right? It was his team before Kate Cunningham got there. The rest of these guys, when you look at these, at either their production or what their team's doing, if you're playing a rookie guard like this, a lot of minutes, you're bad. You're a bad team because if you're giving them the ball, you're probably not winning. Those 4 highest of those production, their teams average 24 wins. The rest of them as a whole, those 13 guards as a whole, average 30 wins. So, and as the player profile for those guards, the low end, like we talk about what to expect as a rookie, the low end for those guards, the profile is basically what Nembhard put up last season. 65 games, 29 minutes, 10 points, 3 boards, 5 assists, 1 steal, 29% from 3, 79% from free throw range. The high end, if you take the high end of those cumulative numbers of those guards, you get D'Angelo Russell last year. 26 minutes, 13 points, 2 boards, 5 assists, 39 from the field, 31% 3. So none of those guys are putting up highly efficient numbers. None of those guys are putting up great assist numbers. They're turning it over a lot, and that's what you got to deal with a young point guard. So that's the thing is, like, the Pelicans have built this team that's a win now in some ways with Trey, Zion, Herb, DeJounte. These are all guys who are expecting to win now. But you have this core with Queen and with Fears and these other guys that need the time to make mistakes. And you have Willie Green at coach, who has never played rookies unless he's had to due to injuries. And I just wonder, if you're going to do all this with Willie Green, if you brought him back, is the best case scenario that you only lose a year of development with these guys trying to do 2 things at once? Because like Ross said, you got to win this year to justify the Queen trade, right? You can't be out of the playoffs unless you're trying to give up this lottery pick next year. So you have to try to win now. But at the same time, giving all of these guys enough minutes to play and to fail, because they're going to fail, but they need the space to fail and it be okay. Can the Pelicans do that and make it work? It just seems like no matter what, this year, the interests are again competing. And I wonder if that means ultimately something positive, if you can get something positive out of that, because it just feels to me that's a big contradiction at the top.
Let's go with that. Chaz, go ahead.
I think for Derik Queen goes to Ross's point, and I kind of wanted to stay away from this earlier, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, at 20 years old, bro, that means you was probably 19 in high school, 18. You was a man amongst boys. So when you say you're a literal man amongst boys. So when you say I beat up on them guys in high school anyway, it's like you probably did. You was bigger, older, and stronger than everyone, right? So as you transition into the league, most guys hit their prime on their 3rd contract, or they're firmly in their prime and about the 3rd contract. He's going to be entering his prime at the end of his 1st contract, 1st year of his 2nd contract. Your timeline ain't like nobody else's timeline. Now he has to be good immediately. Like, I was trying to stall him out a little bit, and in the interest of fairness, but he might as well be the number 2 pick. Like, it ain't no way around it. You're the 2nd highest profile player in this draft. Like, Ace Bailey aside, because no one believed Ace Bailey should have been the number 2 pick. No one believed it, and no one did anything silly like trade up to number 2 and draft Ace Bailey. No one traded up to number 3, no one traded up to number 4, no one traded up to number 5. For Queen, if those picks turn out to be dog shit, okay, the pressure's been relieved. They fixed it. All right, it's all good. Process was still bad, but the pressure's been relieved. But this year, now he got to hit the ground running. Like, it just ain't no way around it because of his age, because of what the investment made in the capital, because of his profile now. People who he was already a very polarizing player. This trade did one of 2 things. Either it made him more polarizing, like it turned you against him, or you saw the backlash and now you want to root for him. For me, I would have been happy with him on the team, wouldn't have traded up for him, but now I'm one of those people who kind of want to root for him. You know what I'm saying? So now at 20, you got to hit the ground running. You're gonna be 21 when the season starts. Like Zion was what in year 3 by the time he made 21, something like that. Year 2, year 3 by the time he made 21. With this dude, with this brother, you're gonna be a 21-year-old rookie. We ain't got time to play around. All the time to stall him out. Now, he's still a kid by all intents and purposes, but now you're a man. So now it's just fucked up to be in this situation. But I believe that he's going to show up and dominate and do what he needs to do moving forward. I believe he'll be a very solid, good player. I just hope that they insulate Derik Queen with the proper environment that he needs also to thrive.
Yep. He goes, they just got bought out. Reminds me of the scene in Dumb and Dumber. He's like, we landed, no way. We landed on the moon. We landed on the moon. Make sure you smash the like button. We'll get some fan questions, comments. About an hour and a half. We'll go about 10 more minutes.
Dumb and Dumber should have won Academy Awards.
What a great movie that is. I have not seen Dumb and Dumber 2 though. Mr. Hennessy Robs, this I do love this jersey. The Zero Fears jersey is pretty bad.
Time out. Because you need to check. They need to check their emails because you'll be hearing from my representatives as soon as Monday. So I already told y'all I was doing a Show No Fears jersey.
Oh, and
I already told y'all I was doing the Zero Fears jersey. I told them they snooze, they lose, they snooze. And if you want to support the kids, support what we going on. We're doing a lot of things in the community. Get a shirt, buy the shirt. I'll put Can
we get a link? Go get a link, Chad.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Make sure y'all. You see, you got I'm a Patriot. You got the red, the white, and the blue.
Who's your representation?
SNS Esquire. SNS
I got you. Let me know if you need a lawyer.
Yeah.
Well, we got Scott Vicknair Injury Lawyers. I mean, it's not injury.
That's really who you need.
And my feelings were certainly hurt and injured by that.
They can handle that
theft.
They can handle that.
Yeah, that was a strong arm theft. So,
Grub, can y'all Chess, just share that link when you can.
Okay.
Can y'all explain the non-taxpayer MLE if the Pelicans will use it in examples of players that fit? I think you meant qualify for that. Go ahead.
This is a good question.
That's a good question.
Why is it? Never mind. The profile picture between Buku, Stat Guy, and B Rob. I don't know why it's me, but go ahead.
He said, "Sell slice of Theo." Yeah, go.
Rob, can you explain that?
I think the non-taxpayer is what? How much is it?
It's over 14.
I'm trying to remember what the number is, but it's 14.
Yeah, it's a little more than 14.
What'd you say, Chad?
Yeah, it's a little more than 14 million.
So the non-taxpayer is for teams that are over the cap but are not at the apron, at the luxury tax apron. So they get a little bit more flexibility to sign a player with that. So the Pelicans have never been taxpayers, as far as crossing the apron. So they get this little thing to sign a player over the cap. They can use one of their exceptions, but they can't use all of them, and they can't combine them into one. Like whatever your total is for that one is what it is. So they got the non-taxpayer. They have the trade exception that they have still from the Jonas trade. And they still have the exception that they created with the CJ trade. So they have three exceptions available to them: the non-taxpayer MLE, and the 2 trade exceptions.
Ain't it like coupons? That's how a dude on YouTube explained it to me. It's like coupons that you could use in the
coops.
Like you can't stack them. You can just use them as one.
You can't stack them, but you could give you don't have to use the full exception. Like for example, like Dorian Finney-Smith right now, like how Aiden's a free agent.
That makes sense. Yes.
Yeah, like Aiden's a free agent right now, and Dorian Finney-Smith is also a free agent. So if the Lakers want to say, we're gonna give Aiden some of this MLE, and we're gonna give Dorian Finney-Smith some of this MLE, and it's still, as long as they use it, I think they can do that. So for example, Dorian Finney-Smith would be a good example for someone who's qualified for the MLE.
Thanks for clearing that up. McNamara, Lito's better than Tice. They're all literally anybody was better than Tice. How many games did he last? 20, 30? Before just checking.
He was here after the deadline.
You know, that's one of those things where, like, Justin, you said that as a joke, but as a fan that watches every game, I would 100% much rather see Lito get those 8 minutes than Tice. And I'm not being funny. I swear on, we go to church every Sunday. I'm serious. On everything I got, I would rather see Lito get those 7 minutes than Daniel Tice.
Lito, what
I don't think there would be a big difference in productivity.
I think we are. Henderson
The
jerseys?
man was literally about to retire.
No, he
They
was
said,
going to play.
hold on.
Hold on. We could
We got
use
one
it.
check for you.
whoa, wait.
Whoa, where you going?
Hold your horse.
Lito,
Lito, if we went around the world right now, 25 threes, 5 from each spot, what do you got?
25 threes.
Just a run
like,
of the middle.
I'm just coming out the
They get a
gym.
minute.
I'm just
You
coming.
get a minute, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Is
I
that
get a warm up, or I'm just.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna. You don't get all day, but I mean, yeah, a couple of shots to get loose.
I mean,
This whole conversation is outrageous. This entire conversation is let's just move on. This entire
we had a conversation about hiccups.
Lito, how many do you think? No, we're not moving on. Lito, how many do you think you make? Yeah, you 25 threes, 5 spots. The little, cart you grab and shoot. You get 60 seconds.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna make 12.
You know what? We should just do it. We should just literally do this.
Justin, can we set this up? You have 5 or you got 25
racks?
basketballs and can we do that? Because I don't know the Daniel Tice. I mean, my point is I'm trying to prove that I think Lito in those 10 minutes.
You think so?
We're gonna shoot that. Somebody
Let's
make a
just
mental
do
note. 12 for draft analyst man. D period A D period. Justin, let's see if we can set that up.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we can set that up. I have
4% from 3 last year. 24% from 3.
I mean, Lito.
Well, I'll tell you what, that motherfucker was launching them too.
Lito, get you some jumpers up over the next week or so. We're gonna set this up and film it, and we'll be back. We're gonna run this back.
Chaz, what's going on, Bruce Brown?
I think you got a couple teams. See, now that's something that could be very interesting with your trade exception, right? I'll tie these two things together. I do think you have some capability to sign and trade Bruce Brown to certain teams, right? Because I think they got his early bird rights. So you'll find a team that's maybe a fringe contender, not Denver necessarily, but a fringe contender that has about $5-6 million, and maybe you get a second back for him. I think his days of making $12 million. I think that's over. And also with your trade exception, the Pelicans, the reason why I don't think they'll use their trade exception is because you don't have to send anything back in a trade exception. It's more so used to take on bad contracts, like in Denver, for example. If Denver wanted to say, "Hey, we'll give y'all Zeke Naji right now," we just want them off the roster, and you can absorb them into your trade exception. But once you absorb them, now the money counts towards your cap. So I don't know if the Pelicans will do something like that, but I do think you could find a home for Bruce Brown via sign and trade. Oh, you bring him back.
You know something I hate?
What's that?
I would rather talk about how many shots Lito could make out of 25 in an open gym on 5 racks of 5 basketballs than talk about where the hell Bruce Brown
going.
This motherfucker that was here for 2 months didn't do shit. And where with the sign and trade, I would rather give a million scenarios of what could happen with Lito shooting 25 threes than talk about where Bruce Brown's going to end up. Shout out to Chaz for taking that seriously. Good. Chaz, you're excellent.
I got 15 on you, Lito.
My dog.
I do too. You know what? I got it too. I'm on Lito for 12. I'm on Lito for 12.
Hey, if I'm Lito, I'm taking the under and betting against y'all and missing everything like Beasley.
Yeah. Hey, there's some film of Beasley. I've been seeing some clips of Beasley.
Dog, you seen that? You seen that Pacers
too
game?
obvious.
Yeah,
it's getting
You seen
obvious.
that Pacers game, dog?
I'm like, this is getting a little too
down the court.
Dog, no,
with 5 seconds left?
No, he was
That's what I was
guarding
talking about, Jared.
He was guarding Halliburton at the dog. What was he doing?
So Jared so Beasley. So the cover was I forget the team they're playing, Jared, but they're It's a 7-point spread. They hit a free throw, go up 8. 5 seconds. The game is over. It's 5 seconds. Beasley just takes the ball and sprints down the court and dunks it and covers the game. I'm like, well, this is too obvious. This is too obvious.
Jail.
Yeah, for sure. He just fucked everything up, bro.
You going to jail?
They're gonna have to.
Oh, you got the feds. Yeah, you got the feds involved.
Draymond too. Draymond was talking about spreads on live TV during the game. Like it's getting to be a problem in this league. I mean, in all these sports leagues, it's too much, and the leagues.
It's too easy.
It's like got to take it. The league's got to take some of the blame.
If I'm a player, me and Chaz are friends. I'm like, Chaz, go put this bet in. Like, it's like if you're not egregious with
the
it,
refs
like,
are doing it. The refs are making bets, and they control it as much. I mean, even going back to the Tim Donaghy thing, but it's easier now to control it than it was then.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they know everything. All the props are up constantly. ESPN has this. I mean, like, it's the networks are in bed with all the gamblers. The players are never. To me, the players are the last line. It's gotten through everybody else by the time it gets to the players. You know what I'm saying? Whether we go back to the Black Sox scandal in 1990, the players are the last ones when it gets to that far.
Y'all know who got caught in a major scandal, but they got buried fast? I did a show about this on my own channel, but I had to take it down. I was like, hold up. Maverick Carter. But let's move on. Let's keep it moving before we lose the show. Let's keep it going.
But this thing. Hold up, Beasley, real quick. He was about to sign a 3 for 82. If I'm not mistaken.
He's a fool.
Bro, what are you betting that you couldn't have made? Like, I'm so fucking confused.
Maybe try to help somebody out. Like, I don't
know. Somebody else.
It's gotta be like you're whatever. Carl, appreciate the super chat. Like a grub and 5 insane since Dumar's hiding on this matter. If Willie Green's your head coach, Carl again. Told you last week, Bruce Brown on tour.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Tennessee.
Can I actually just go to Tennessee after Tennessee?
Okay. This is a good question, Jared. What are Queens and Fears' floors for this year?
Good question.
Good question. Like averages, I'm assuming, right? Man, it just depends on the minutes. Like, let's go for Queen. It's probably gonna be like floor 14 and 7. That's what I think he probably averages, in my opinion.
14 and 7.
I'm taking 14 and 7.
That's a good.
You know, a Queen.
Yeah, you're talking about Queen.
Oh, you're talking about Queen. You're talking about Queen. I thought it said Fears. 14 7 still.
Fears, on the other hand, that's probably gonna be a little bit lower. It's probably like 12 and 5, to be quite honest. It's just
that'd be impressive to me.
I ain't gonna lie.
I'm giving
12 and 5 as an 18-year-old. I'll take that.
Yeah, like what it 6 shots. He gets to the free throw line. Hopefully, he can be able to get to the free throw line at least twice a game. Shoots it at a high clip. Get some easy buckets. I can see him averaging 12.
Yeah, Lito.
What I want to propose to you guys.
Let me get Lito's thoughts, and then Chaz will go with you.
As far as you want points per game, is that what you're
just
asking?
give me a floor, whatever you want.
Who's it?
Your show.
Floor. I don't know. I really like it's hard. That's a hard question to answer. Like, what's his floor for this year? Is Willie coaching them the whole year?
Depends on what the goal.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a hard question to ask. I do, if I'm going points wise though, I probably give Fears 9.5, 10 points, and I'd say Queen 12.
Queen gotta give me 14 tonight. 14 and 6. Fears, I'm like, give me 9 and 5. I'll be happy. I'm not. Fears,
If you get Bub Carrington's season last year out of Fears, I think you should be happy.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
like just at
Fears.
18.
Yeah, Fears is a long way to go. Queen, as Chaz says, like you gotta produce.
But see, Grub, he ain't go. They literally let Bub fail. They gave him playing time.
57 starts.
Yeah, he ain't gonna get that here.
Nope. That's why I say if you can get Bub's numbers, I said then you've done something good. Because like he's just not gonna get those minutes. I just don't see where he starts 50s plus games. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot of pressure to put on an 18-year-old to run a team that wants to make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you get Bub's numbers, 9 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, and he can shoot, if he can get to 30% from three, just give you like, if he can get to close to 31, 32% from three this year. Because for Fears, I think absolutely. I think the timelines. For Fears, you betting on year 3. That's a point guard. You betting on year 3 for Fears. For Queen, it's got to be now. As y'all have said, I agree absolutely. For Queen, it has to be double figures this year. It has to be 6, 7, 8 rebounds this year. He has to shoot above, close to 50% from the floor in year 1. But for Fears, you just got to carve out the space for him to make mistakes, to run with that second unit and do some things and have some success. Like you said, put him in simple pick and roll situations. Let him take shots for his 10 to 12 minutes every night. Get him on the floor for 10 to 12 minutes every night. Queen is going to be in position to give you 20-plus minutes a night in your rotation.
Yeah. Chaz, go ahead. Last question, we'll wrap it up.
I was about to say, for one, if Ayton take $10 million, I'm bringing Ayton over. I don't give a fuck. I want all the people who distressed and show. If they get Poole and Ayton, I'm retiring again, because ain't no way in the world I call Poole and Ayton. But all that to say, if it was y'all, right, and you were Joe Dumars, now this is a lot easier to do if you had your own pick. But would you say, you know what, I'm going to get Looney, I'm bringing back Bruce Brown, I'm gonna have 3 champions in my building. We're gonna build a championship culture for us guys who everybody's a dog in this building. You got Poole, Brown, Looney, everybody's gonna hold each other accountable. We got a high-end level talent in a few of these guys. I trust these guys. I trust my scouting. I trust my development. We just need everyone to focus and just build culture. The talent is here. We just need culture. Would you do that? Brown, champion, real contributor on a championship team. Poole, real contributor on a championship team. Looney, real contributor on the championship team.
Those 3, especially Looney and Brown, will give you some stability in the locker room without CJ. So I see your vision there.
Not saying I would do it. I'm just saying.
I'm not a big Bruce Brown guy. I'm not.
I'm
just not a big Bruce Brown guy. Like I actually don't mind Looney, Chaz. I just don't want Bruce Brown. I can't stand. Like I just don't like this whole. It's too much antics for me. I need to play basketball. There's too much antics for me there. But I actually like Looney, and you're absolutely right, Chad. If it's 10 mil to bring in Ayton, like I know we have our thoughts on Ayton, you bring him in. Like you absolutely.
If you had to give him the whole 14, I'm fine with giving Ayton 14. If that's what it takes to get him on a short-term deal.
Yeah, 100%.
What's the problem with using the full exception in order to get him? I think it's fine because that risk is a lot better to take him at 35, 40 million.
Yeah. All right. That's the show. Hour 50. Shout out to all of y'all, by the way. I keep this whole week, man. Y'all put in a ton of work with the draft, the Sunday shows, all the shows we all do. So, and then of course, appreciate all y'all that watch and comment and like and subscribe and super chats and all that shit. Like for real, we really, really do appreciate it. So, free agency starts tomorrow. If anything happens, breaking, we'll go live. You have one more thing here, Lito?
Yeah, go ahead, finish.
Yeah, so we'll go live for any breaking stuff, and then Summer League will start. We'll recap some games.
When does Summer League start?
I think it's the 10th, I believe, Chaz.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the game's at 2:30. I don't know. Maybe we'll wait for nighttime to recap that game, but everything else is at 7:30, 8 o'clock. And then we'll be live every Sunday night. So appreciate y'all. Lito, you had one more thing. Go ahead.
One more thing. Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central Time, man. Pull up, me, Chris, whoever. If any of y'all want to join, Grub, Chaz, 5, Justin Ross. I got Stephen Gillespie from No Ceilings NBA. We talking Fears, we talking Queen, we talking they fit on the team. We just whatever questions y'all have, we gonna run them. So pull up.
Tap in, don't tap out.
Appreciate that. Yeah, so other than that, and then Chaz, can you share the link one more time for the t-shirts of the
again, man, make sure y'all do this for the kids. It's the 4th of July, veterans, kids, whoever. Just buy a shirt. It's gonna be this is the bonfire here. We got the
if you have a kid who's a veteran, that's even better.
Yeah, he might have been a drummer. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever you gotta do.
Great grandfather was a drummer in the Civil War. You know what I'm saying? So it's really for him, is why I'm doing this. So yeah, make sure y'all get a shirt.
Do you have one more thing again?
One more
Lucas?
thing.
The
Yeah,
fourth
one more thing.
Fourth.
That's
one
your.
more
Hey, that's
thing
your.
today.
That's your.
The
cold,
black
Chaz.
one is the black.
That's
one
your
is
cold,
legit.
Chaz.
Here we
You
go.
do it.
I gotta give me one, Chaz.
You
Go
do your
ahead.
thing, Chaz.
Hey.
My last thing. My
You got
last
my
thing.
address.
My last thing is yeah, Chaz. I need to get a shirt from you. 5. We got to do some work. And my last thing is yeah, go buy my album.
Oh yeah.
Go
Go get the album
Yes.
streaming on all the
Let's do that.
DSPs. What's the name of it, Al? What's the name of the album?
It's called Can't Kill God. Me and my partner, me and my homie Lyric Kill. If you want to buy direct, bandcamp.com, like that goes in our pockets because Apple ain't paying nothing. What's up, Ross?
We got a clip or something. I mean, what are we talking about here? Are we going hip hop? Are we going southern? Like, give me.
We got a little, man. We got a little
run
hip-hop,
something.
man.
All right.
We got something.
How am I? I can't buy something I don't know what it is.
Chaz, that's
Man,
sick.
I
You're
ain't got
sick, man.
I ain't got no.
I'm gonna get mine. I heard when Lito first played me some of his stuff,
Chaz,
like
that's
immediately I was like, this. First of all, it was dope because like it's a New Orleans sound. But I would say if you're an old head hip hop person, like you get something out of that. If you're a new school hip hop person, you get something out of it. It's dope. And like I said, like again, Lito ain't gonna tell what's coming up, but I had to hook him up with a friend of mine immediately because I was like, she would dig it. She heard it, and I mean, I'm telling you, it's a dope album. It's dope.
And then if we're gonna shout out, Chaz.
But you didn't let me tickle the ivory on it. That's fucked up. Did you hear it? But you didn't see that.
Can we get a shout to Soul Brothers then? Can we get a shout to Soul Brothers then?
Soul Brothers?
Derik,
Yeah, man. Shout out to Soul Running, man. If you looking for a group to start running with, pull up on us every Sunday. We're at the Lake House. You can run whatever distance you feel like. Just be back by 8:30 so we can do yoga. So
get your health together, man.
Yoga, man.
Hey, them fools can run. Yeah, don't.
We got medical talk.
Wear the right wear the right shoes, man.
Got the whole thing.
Yeah, them boys be running.
I can't run.
They're running.
Shit. All right, I'll see y'all later.